Everyone, today we're looking at who's to blame when it comes to sin. They heard the sound of Yahweh God walking in the garden at the time of the evening breeze, and the human and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh God among the trees of the garden. But Yahweh God called to the human and said to him, "Where are you?" He said, "Oh, I heard the sound of you in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked and I hid myself." He said, "Who told you you were naked? Have you eaten from the tree of which I commanded you not to eat?" The human said, "Well, the woman you gave me to be with me, she gave me fruit from the tree, and I ate." And then Yahweh God said to the woman, "What is this that you have done?" The woman said, "The serpent tricked me, and I ate." So here, what we really need to see, first of all, is the mutual guilt and responsibility for both Adam and Eve. It's unfair to only blame Eve, as many often do, because it's very clear, we saw yesterday, that Adam is with her the whole time this is all happening. She doesn't tempt him, she doesn't convince him, she just gives it and he eats. And when the serpent's talking to them, he says you, plural, like y'all. And even Paul, as he's reflecting on this later, he'll talk about Eve in 1 Timothy 2, but he'll talk about Adam in Romans 5. It's depending on the situation that he's addressing. And so, women are not naturally more gullible than men. That seems like an obvious statement, but some tend to believe that because of this story. Now, in this story, though, they don't want their guilt to be mutual. They don't want any of it. They just want to blame someone else. Right? Now, the first thing they actually do is hide, which is kind of silly, right? They're trying to hide from the presence of God. And God responds in kind with an equally silly question, right? Where are you? Well, God knows, right? God is not accusing them. Why are you hiding? He knows what they've done. He knows where they are. What God is doing here, again, it's like a parent with a little kid asking, hey, who ate the cookies out of the cookie jar? They know that who did, and they know what happened, right? It's a chance to let them come clean. And God's focus is not just to make them feel bad, it's on their loss of innocence, right? Why has there been this change? And so God attempts to let Adam confess, but instead he just wants to blame the woman, right? The woman that you gave me, right? So it's kind of God's fault too, he's saying. She gave the fruit. And then when God turns to Eve, she blames the tricky serpent. Again, this is just human nature. How often do we blame other people for our mistakes, for our sins? So how often do we want to say it's God's fault somehow? Right? There's just this human tendency to always want to see ourselves as the victim, as if we had no part to play in the things that we did wrong. So what's the solution? Honesty, openness, and confession. Admit to God where you are and how you got there. This is the first time that people are afraid of God. And unfortunately, that continues to be a pretty common response. We should know that God always wants to be close with us. But that can't happen when we are trying to hide, when we are trying to blame others. So, today, can you let yourself be seen by the God who already knows you and already loves you?